Okay, this is a reaction video. Like I said, I'm less than a week away from visiting London. Really excited. Actually, I'll go live Thursday, so I'm really a week away. I'm leaving Wednesday night and arriving Thursday morning. So, 14 huge mistakes tourists always make in London. Well, let me say, I don't know how many more of these I'm going to do, but let's take a look at this and live and learn, and hopefully I won't make any of these mistakes.
These are the top mistakes that tourists always make when they visit London.
I grew up in London suburbia and my mum is a blue badge tour guide to the city. Although I now live in southwest England, I'm still very well versed in what you should and shouldn't do in London. So let's get into it.
One of the biggest mistakes that tourists make when they visit London is not using the tube to get around.
Now, I tend to use the tube because not this coming weekend, but the next weekend, I'm going to be making 2 trips to the Emirates Stadium. I'm going to take the Emirates Stadium tour on the 15th, and I'm going to the Arsenal-Chelsea game on the 16th. So I guess I'm going to need to take the tube to get to the Arsenal station to get there. So that's I'm going to take the tube. Now, I'm not decided if I'm going to take the tube, if I'm going to get to from Heathrow to the central London, but I'm going to take the tube.
You might think that the best way to get around central London is by Uber or taxi, but actually this normally takes longer than the tube. So if you are planning a route around London, I'd always recommend seeing if there is a London Underground way to get there first. Obviously, if it's late at night or if you're going somewhere that the tube doesn't go, then you might find that other transport options like taxis or even buses are better, but definitely tube first. It's usually faster and is also a lot more convenient.
Yeah, I guess I can either. I understand that when you use the tube, you can either use your credit card or you can use a Oyster card, which is probably preferable. I'm guessing. I'll think about it when I get there because it's one of those things that I'm not sure if I'm how often I'm going to use the tube.
Another mistake that tourists often make when they're visiting
Now, I'm not going to plan on going to any theater shows, so I'm not worried about this one.
London is paying full price for theatre tickets. If you want to see something particular, then this hack might not work. But if you don't, you can come here to the theatre tickets booth in Leicester Square on the day that you want to go to the theatre and see what half-price tickets they have on offer. Let's go and have a look and see what's on offer for tonight. So this is just by the Odeon. This is the surroundings. We're not going to go to the theatre tonight, but let's see what they have. So this is opening hours.
I guess if I wanted to do that, this would be something I can do. But no, I don't think I'm going to do. Besides, I don't have a MasterCard anyway, so.
What's on offer?
Show of the week, Back to the Future.
Back to the Future up to 31% off. The Book of Mormon up to 26% off. Fawlty Towers, £18. And this is all today.
Yeah.
Okay. And you can only buy them for today. I'm just standing in front of Buckingham Palace, and one of the top mistakes that a lot of people make when they visit London involves this building. So the changing of the guards at Buckingham Palace is world famous. It usually happens at 11 a.m. on Monday, Wednesday, Friday and Sunday, but it can often be called off because of the weather or for logistics reasons. Now, if it is called off because of logistics reasons, then you will usually find something saying this.
Now, this is something that I'm not going to be able to do because, look, I could probably do it on Friday if I want to, but or Sunday. Sunday, I'm going to the Arsenal-Chelsea game. Friday, I'm going on a tour outside of England, outside of London. I'm going to Windsor Palace, Bath, and Stonehenge. So I won't be able to do it on Friday, but I suppose I could possibly do it on Sunday, but. The Arsenal game kicks off, I think, at 1:30 British time, so I don't think I'll be able to do that.
On the website. However, if it is called off because of the weather, that is often a last minute decision. So if it is looking like very bad weather, then I would recommend maybe not coming down here for it. If you are in London for a few days and it is a good day to see the guard change on your very first day, I would recommend doing it just in case it's called off the rest of the time you're here.
Yeah, sort of up there on the corner.
That's where you recommend standing?
Yeah.
Okay.
or I'll show you where they come out of St James's Palace, because that's another.
Okay.
We'll see the old guard come march.
I'm guessing that's her mom, who knows London like the back of her hand, and it's telling her where to stand and see the changing of the guard.
Marching out of St James's Palace,
Yeah.
and then they will march up the Mall,
Oh, okay.
so you can sort of march alongside them.
Oh, okay.
And then the thing to do is, once they get to the entrance to Buckingham Palace, peel off to the left through St James's Park, and then you can see the new guard forming up. You see that white building?
Yeah.
They will march to Buckingham Palace.
What time do you recommend getting here?
If you want to see the start of it, I would get here for about 10:30.
10:30.
Yeah.
Just standing at the gates to Chinatown now. One tip I just wanted to give about British food is that when you're in London or even the UK in general.
Yeah, I get you can get a lot of international food. It's like New York City. It's like Los Angeles. There's like Columbus, Ohio. To be fair, there's a bunch of international food everywhere you go. So, yeah, if you come to London, yes, I want to try the fish and chips. I want to try the pubs. But yeah, missing out on international food would be a mistake if I getting some real good international food.
Don't limit yourself to just trying British cuisine, because British cuisine is not that great. But I do think London is a fantastic foodie city, simply because it is so multicultural. You can literally get food from anywhere in the world here, as seen in Chinatown and many other places around the city. It's also really, really important in London to not forget just how busy it can be.
Yeah, I know about the busy crowds. I talk about Chinatown. There's a Chinatown in New York, Chinatown in San Francisco. There's Chinatowns all over the place. But yeah, forgetting about the crowds. I expect it to be very busy when I'm there. I expect it to be busy all the time in London. But yeah, forgetting about the crowds. I don't intend to forget about the crowds.
Especially in peak season. So it's currently January, and honestly, I have seen some queues today outside Westminster Abbey. It was super busy, and also outside the National Gallery. And I mean, even here, we're just outside a place called Dave's Hot Chicken. And
they have Dave's Hot Chicken in Columbus, Ohio, so I don't think I'll be going to Dave's Hot Chicken.
don't really know what this place is, but even here there is a massive queue.
It's basically a pretty big sized chicken place. In fact, I didn't know they had those in London, because I know they have them. In fact, I was actually surprised they had them in Los Angeles when I was out there a couple years back. But they have them in Columbus, Ohio as well.
I live in rural England now, so I find this very overwhelming. And also, it's always really important to remember how expensive London can be.
Yeah, that's another thing. London is very expensive. Yeah, that's what a lot of people say, and that's what I expect. I don't expect to spend a whole lot of money when I'm there, expect on food. But yeah, I don't understand how expensive it is.
Make sure you budget accordingly, because eating out, especially drinks and activities, can really add up. If you are on a budget...
Yeah, that's the other thing, because in the United States, if I were to get a soda or a drink at a restaurant, then I can get free refills at most restaurants. I don't think they have those in London. They don't have in Europe, which is pretty poor, to be fair, but it is what it is.
I'd recommend seeing London for a couple of days and then going elsewhere in the UK, where it is a lot cheaper. That being said, there are quite a few very good free things to do in London. This includes museums like the Natural History Museum, galleries like the National Gallery, and Sky Garden is a great viewing platform with a bar. Obviously the drinks are paid for, but do check before you go to any of these free things that you don't need to book in advance. For example, Sky Garden has gotten very popular recently, so you do need to book that in advance, but it is free. Obviously as well, walking around, seeing all the buildings.
I don't know if I want to do Sky Garden, but that is something, because they say don't do the London Eye, but do Sky Garden, because you can get a better view of London that way.
And seeing the sights of London is always free. Like seeing all these phone boxes. It's also worth pointing out that a lot of London you can see just by walking around. Actually, I saw something on Facebook once that had how long it would take to walk between different tube stations, and actually how low it was really surprised me. So you definitely can't walk across the whole of London, but you can walk between a lot of different attractions and you'll see more of the city that way. Another really important thing to be mindful of is pickpockets in London. One of the biggest mistakes you can make is not taking adequate care against pickpocketing. I know so many people who have had phones stolen in the last few months, usually on the tube, but also just like on the street as well. So make sure you're putting any valuables in a zipped pocket of your bag or a zipped pocket of your coat. Don't flash things around too much.
Yeah, that's important. Pickpockets are everywhere. Pickpockets are in Columbus, Ohio. But yeah, that is important to watch. Look, I generally check my wallet and check a wallet, watch, and my phone on a regular basis. So I should be okay as far as that's concerned.
Your valuables in a cross-body bag, and I wouldn't really recommend sitting casually with your phone when you're on the tube. I'm aware that I am saying this while walking around busy London on a camera, but I have my wrist strap on it and you will not believe how tightly I'm holding onto this camera. Transport tip I wanted to give is about when you should travel. I would recommend avoiding using Transport for London before 9:30 a.m. This is rush hour, so not only is it very busy, but actually tickets are a lot more expensive. If you can, walk around before 9:30 a.m. and schedule your journeys on public transport after that.
Well, see, I leave London on Monday, the 17th of March at 8:45, so I'm going to be up pretty early. So I guess I'm debating whether or not I should take a cab back to the airport or I should take the Heathrow Express. I still don't know what I should do.
Time. Don't think that you can see all of London in one day.
No, obviously you can't do that in one day. I get that.
London is massive. I lived here for 18 years of my life and I have in no way seen everything. In fact, there's a lot that I haven't seen. There's also so many like little hidden gems, like this church that was built by Christopher Wren, the same architect who built St Paul's Cathedral. So in reality, you probably need about 4 days just to scratch the surface of London. If you really only want to see the highlights, you could do it in 2, but really the longer the better, and the more you'll get to see, the longer you stay. I'm here now in Piccadilly Arcade, and this was built so women who were doing their shopping didn't get their frocks wet when it was bad weather. So it's a good time to talk about London's weather. Don't presume that in London it is always raining. That is not the case.
No, I've seen enough about the London weather. It can, bring a umbrella with you, but don't expect it to rain all the time. In fact, I don't expect to be in London only like 3 days, and I'm probably not going to be doing a whole lot of sightseeing like you normally do. I'm just going to be there to experience London for the first time, and then I'll do the sightseeing later. But I just want to get there and get something of the lay of the land and just enjoy the parts of it that I can see.
It does rain a fair amount, but actually London is not the rainiest city in Europe. There are quite a few others that have a much higher rainfall than London. You can get all sorts of weather in London, including sunshine, cloud, rain, drizzle, sleet, snow. So prepare for all eventualities, especially if you're visiting in the winter, but do make sure you always pack a raincoat, even if it is the summer. I'm just walking past the Ritz on my left, and it reminds me of another mistake that a lot of tourists make, and that is thinking that you need to book a hotel in central London.
No, that's something. Look, that's like kind of like in Vegas where you have to stay on the Strip. You don't have to stay on the Strip. You can stay off the Strip. There's plenty of hotels that are off the Strip in Vegas. You don't have to stay on the Strip. But yeah, I get. Now I'm staying at the Park Plaza Hotel on the riverfront. Just may as well make you aware of it. But yeah, I didn't realize that's in central London. But I guess I didn't have to stay in central London. But I got a good deal, so.
Hotels in central London are extortionate. Obviously, if you're going to stay somewhere like here, the Ritz, obviously that's going to come at a super premium, but even 1 and 2 star hotels are really pricey in central London. Instead, I'd recommend staying somewhere kind of in the outskirts. but do make sure that it is on a tube line or at least a fast line in central London. A good example is Hammersmith, which is on the Hammersmith and City line. I once stayed at a Premier Inn in Hammersmith and it was actually a really good deal. And lastly, this is one for anyone travelling to London in winter. Don't forget how early it can get dark.
Yeah, look, one of the things that I do know about that is because in the winter, it gets, the days get shorter, but in the summer the days get longer. Like when I was in Germany, in Frankfurt, the sun didn't go down all the way to like 9:45, and then it came up about 4:45. And then I guess in wintertime the sun comes up like 9 o'clock and goes down about 3 o'clock. So if you think like the United States is here, London would be right here, okay, across the pond. No, it's up here. So I get that. So, but I'm going. Like I said, daylight savings time for you guys is, I believe, in March 30th, the end of the month. It's for us this weekend. So that is interesting.
This is like a lot of Northern Europe, but in our darkest month, which is December, the sun sets at around 4 p.m, which does mean that some of your opportunities to see attractions are hindered. In the summer, it's another kettle of fish, and it stays light until past 9 p.m. in June. But definitely remember that for the winter. And I think that is just about it for this video. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you'd like to leave a tip on my coffee page, join my Patreon, or follow me on social media, scan this QR code, which will take you through to the page where you can do all of that. If you're sticking around, I recommend checking out this video about the hidden corners of London.
Okay, okay, this was Claire's Footsteps. 14 huge mistakes tourists always make in London. I don't think I'm going to make any of these mistakes. Should be okay. Looking forward to seeing London for the first time. A week from today is when I'll actually be at Heathrow, and then I'll be at Park Plaza, and then I'll be doing whatever I need to do. Probably the weekend going to be at the Emirates Stadium and seeing Arsenal versus Chelsea. Fantastic time. Looking forward to it. But thank you very much. Have a good rest of your day. Thanks for watching.